Hello and welcome to Haircut and the Beard. My name is Vader, aka Haircut, and I'm joined by my co-host, Rob, the gloriously bearded Danger Man Brown.
They get better every week. That was great.
Danger Man, do you like that?
I did like that.
I was thinking, like, what would be an action figure with the beard that would be plug-in and then removable?
I think we've already talked about that. Yeah.
So Danger Man would be a good name.
Maybe it'd be Danger Man 2, the sequel, you know?
What?
I don't know.
What's Danger Man 2?
I don't know. Because we've already talked about Danger Man. This is like the sequel.
No, we didn't name it last time. That's what I'm saying.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
So we give it a name now.
We've got a special guest on the show today. Her name's the girl.
G'day, g'day.
G'day. So what have you guys been up to this week, movie-wise?
I'm rocking like a pretty heavy hangover. I feel like I'm in a sequel to The Hangover with like none of the cast. It's just me.
The fourth one then. Yeah.
Yeah.
The wolf
They
pack's
have
all
no
gone.
money.
Yeah.
No money. It's just me sitting in bed feeling sorry for myself.
It's just got Ken Jeong in there
Just
Yeah.
naked in bed with you.
I'm down with that.
with that tiny dick of his.
He has had it out, hasn't he, on
He
screen?
has.
I'm sure I've seen
No,
it.
that was in The Hangover 2, I think.
Was it?
He's naked in Thailand,
Yeah.
and like the monkey like touches his dick or something.
He's a fully qualified doctor, and that's
He's-
where he ended up. Yeah.
Really smart, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I love about that guy is like he just looks so strange. He's really small and you know he's just a weird looking dude, but he's just got so much charisma
Yeah.
and he's like so confident.
He's got
you
a good
know?
presence.
Yeah, I respect that, you know, because he just transcends what he looks like. You know, he's just so much cooler
Yeah.
than what you'd expect just from looking at him.
That's so
you know?
true, yeah.
Speaking of monkeys, what movie are we doing this week? That sounded racist. I just want to clarify. I meant the monkey from Hangover 2.
Yeah.
If this is your first time listening to the show, we like to talk about movies and TV shows and all that jazz. And this is episode 21.
Yeah.
Woo! We've come a long way, baby. I think we're about like almost a year into it. We've just been a little bit slack lately with
Yeah.
producing them.
We're doing right.
You can shoot us an email at haircutandthebeard@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter, haircutbeard. We're also doing another show called Get Real Rob. You can check that out on iTunes. It's about the Netflix original series Real Rob with Rob
It's
Schneider.
not an intervention for me.
No,
because it
it's-
sounds like it could be a Robbie intervention.
Yeah, get real, Rob. Stop watching awful Netflix shows.
In that sense, it kind of is an intervention,
Yeah.
isn't it?
But
No, it's
go
the
ahead.
opposite.
Yeah, true.
Encouraging it.
Certainly go ahead and check that one out as well. And give us a 5-star review on there because we haven't had one from you yet.
You know.
What movie are we doing this week?
Today we're
Beard?
going to be talking about the Jon Favreau film Jungle Book.
Right on.
I went home from work the other day with a migraine, and I was just sitting there just with a real bad headache, and there was a guy behind me. You know those people that sit on public transport with like the really loud music?
Hmm.
You're
why?
like, shut up, dude. Why are
Why
you
do they
doing
exist?
this?
I don't
Like
know.
blasting
So
through their
annoying.
headphones.
Not even through the headphones, like on an actual, like, what are those little portable
Pill.
speaker things? The pill box, whatever
It's
they're
like
called.
a glitch in the Matrix. I don't know why they exist, man.
But I literally turned around and gave this guy a look that made him, without any words spoken, turn it off. And I
That's
just
the
felt
Danger
so
Man
good.
look.
I'm like,
Danger
I mean,
Man 2, The Look of Death.
yeah, gave me the
that's
look of death. And he's like, oh, sorry, mate. Like,
That's
I
what
didn't
you
even say
could
anything.
be. Your superhero could go around like solving everyday problems, like the guy who plays music on the train.
Yeah.
Or
The
like
most boring superhero ever.
when you're in a queue that's too long and you just don't want to wait.
Yeah.
Danger Man.
You could be like the guy that watches people's dryers at the laundromat.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you go get a coffee. I'll wait here. Danger Man.
Yeah, if
He's
someone
not-
gets your order wrong at the brunch table.
He's the guy that goes up and yells at the waiter for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, how was your food, sir? Everyone else is like, oh, yeah, it was great, thanks. We'll just get the check, right? And you're just like, no, it wasn't great. And I'll tell you why.
Like that, yeah. Every time you get like overcharged, like 50 cents, like when you're at Coles or something, and you're like, oh, it's 50 cents. Who cares? Like, no, Danger Man's got your back. You know, I've got this. Don't you worry about it. And he always has to do it just with the look. You know,
Yeah.
the steely cold glaze.
This idea could have legs, I think.
Gaze.
When you're
Not
like
glaze.
at the checkout and they're like, do you want to donate anything to this charity? And you're like, no. And then Danger Man steps in and goes, yeah. He said, no, that's right. That's right, bitch.
You can't give me an evil look for that, son of a bitch.
On migraines, the receptionist at the hospital had a really bad migraine. She turned down the lights.
Yeah.
And then the actual fitting on the light fell off the roof and hit her on the head.
You're kidding.
No, that really happened.
That's terrible. If Danger Man was there, he would not have allowed that.
Yeah, he would
No.
have flown in and saved her.
How bad is that? She already had a migraine.
That is terrible.
But it's
poor
funny.
thing. Migraines are horrible, especially when you go up and the lights falling from the sky. Jesus.
So let's get stuck into some news. First up, LeBron James is going to be in the Space Jam sequel that's currently in development. So he's the new Michael Jordan. Do you agree with that?
I mean, as a 90s kid that used to love basketball, I love LeBron, but, Jordan's Jordan.
Yeah, in my opinion, Michael Jordan was never the star of that show, though. It was always Bill Murray. He came in right at the end and saved the day.
Really?
Yeah.
I
At
haven't
the
seen
golf
it since I was
course?
a kid.
Is that where it happened?
No, it was Bill Murray in Space Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a basketball movie, not a golf movie.
I swear they're on a golf course.
I
at
kind
some
of feel I
point.
need to go back and watch it
All right.
because I haven't seen it in a long time. But I loved that film as a
Do
kid.
they have that
Loved
shit in
it.
4K yet?
If not interested. I'll watch it though. I like basketball. I like Looney Tunes.
I don't think they needed to remake it.
No way.
Because it's a sequel, it's going to be interesting, though. Because I thought it might be like a reboot and redo the whole thing, but the fact that it's a sequel...
Yeah.
Are they going to get the monsters back from Mars, or...
I wonder if they're going to have Michael Jordan doing some kind of cameo or something with his weird Hitler mustache.
Yeah,
You seen that shit?
he's weird.
Who thinks they're above? Who thinks that I can do a Hitler mustache? No one will think of Hitler. No one in the world believes that. You do the Hitler mustache these days, people still think of
I
Hitler.
didn't even realise he's got the Hitler mustache.
Look it up. It's really weird. Really weird.
So the all-female Ghostbusters movie is the most disliked trailer on YouTube at the moment.
Yeah.
507,000 dislikes.
Which is a pretty fucking bad ratio.
Now, did you see that coming? Because I remember when they announced it, we even did a thing about it where we were like, "Oh, look, it's going to be all female. Will it be good?" I bet you if we go back to the tape, episode 2 or 3 or something, you'll be going, "Yeah, I'll watch it." Are you actually going to stick to your word to watch this one?
I will watch it because I feel kind of obligated because I said I would. No, I'll watch it because I'm a fan of Star Wars. Fan of Ghostbusters.
Now
Sorry, Hangover. Remember?
It's an all girl cast. So, girl, you're going to do a cameo in the
Trying to
Ghostbusters?
look up the Hitler moustache, to be honest. I wasn't really listening. No.
All girl. I mean, do you think that these movies they need to add in female characters to?
I think Ghostbusters is a classic, and if anything, they're just kind of worsening the gender divide by being like, girls can do it too.
Yeah. Are they being political with it, or is it it just happens to be females?
I believe there is definitely a bit of politics behind it. I mean, there's a lot of studios, both in movies and video games at the moment, that are copying a lot of flack for, gender diversity and racial diversity and all that kind of stuff. So I think the fact that it's an all-female cast is got to win some hearts and minds somewhere, but still make it a good film. You're also dealing with one of the most well-known franchises ever.
Yep.
I mean, it's certainly a part of my childhood, and if they stuff it up, it's a big deal.
Now, I don't know if this is right, but wow. Michael Jordan with the Hitler mustache. That's amazing.
It's a real thing.
I looked up LeBron James. I thought that's who we were talking about.
Oh, no.
Damn it.
Another one. Yep.
Oh, mate, you can't do that. I mean, even though it's lower than the Hitler mustache, it's not all the way to the nose. It's still not good.
Still doesn't look good.
Hey, question. Which Looney Tunes character is getting a movie made? This is part of the news, by the way.
Oh, so there is actually one getting a movie?
Yeah, there is one. Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
If you guess it in one, I will buy you an energy drink.
Oh, God.
Is that
I
a
had
clue?
no idea.
Is that a really subtle clue?
No.
About energy and...
I'm going to go, just as a guess, maybe Daffy Duck?
You are correct. It's actually Speedy Gonzalez.
Can you see how that relates?
Yeah, I do, but I didn't want to give it up because you were probably going to make it easy for him to win a free energy drink.
In this day and age,
I don't have $3 lying around. Who do you think I am?
I thought Speedy Gonzalez was a bit of a racial stereotype.
Yeah, that's
he was
what I
kind of
thought.
Retired a little bit,
Yeah, why did they
Yeah.
go the racist one?
Yeah.
Oh, andale.
Have you guys ever seen those old? I think it was more Disney cartoons. I'm sure both Warner Brothers and Disney had them, but they're the really racist. There was a bunch of black crows that were super stereotyped, cotton picking black stereotypes from really, really bad, and just the way they speak is all terrible, really, really bad.
I remember probably about 6 months ago, I read an article about how they wanted to pull those Looney Tunes apps because of the racism.
Yeah.
And then they decided to leave it in because they said otherwise it would look like it never happened.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah, that's a really kind of... I like that. I respect that.
Yeah.
They're sort of at least owning the fact that it was a part of their history.
That's it for the news. Do you have anything news-wise?
Yeah, I've got a couple here. Just a couple of short ones and one kind of long one, but we'll get to that. So firstly, Christopher Nolan made amazing films, made Memento, he did the Dark Knight trilogy and some like amazing films. He's doing a film called Dunkirk with a really, really cool cast. One of the cast members has been announced as Harry Styles from One Direction.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah. I just have no words, like, what do you say to that?
And at least get Justin Bieber.
Yeah, exactly. We know he can act. But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what's happening there. It's some kind of war film, and I'm sure he just had a very specific look in mind. But do you reckon someone from One Direction can act?
When it comes to Harry Styles, yes.
Okay.
I mean,
I just like the idea of him having to audition for it.
Yeah.
He's just come back from this world tour. He's like running past a crowd of 10,000 screaming girls.
Then he has
and
to
he gets
line
into
up
the
with all
audition.
these other schmoes with their little headshots.
Exactly. And the producers are like, Could you do that a little bit less cartoony?
Yeah. Do you want me to sing my lines? I'm sure I could sing them really well. Yeah.
No, we don't have auto-tune plugged in. Sorry.
Great call.
Like, do I have to do this take without my backup dancers? Just don't feel right.
Love it. Hey, Christopher Nolan, he definitely, he knows how to pick him. I never saw, Tom Hardy as Bane. He's got an eye for it,
Yeah, you got to trust his judgment.
Yeah. There's 2 Netflix TV shows coming out of the Marvel Universe at the moment I'm kind of excited about. Because of his role in Daredevil, The Punisher is getting his own spin-off series, which I'm really excited about because he was the highlight of that series.
Yep. He
was just awesome. There was a single scene of The Punisher fighting his way out of wearing a white jumpsuit in prison, fighting his way out of a prison cell block. And everyone in the cell block is trying to kill him. And he just demolishes all of them. And by the end of the scene, just drenched in blood. Like, just magnificent action scene.
Yeah.
And I just want to see more of that. I thought it was great. Like,
is this show pretty good, Daredevil? I've heard, it's pretty good, but I can't come around to watching it.
Yeah. It's still in the Marvel Universe, so it's set in the same universe as the Avengers and all that kind of stuff. But it's like the, much smaller sort of part of the world. But it's a lot darker. There's brutal kind of people getting stabbed, shot in the face, stomped to death and that kind of stuff. So it's really, really dark, but cool. It works. It's not amazing, but it's good. And in the same sort of vein, they're going to do a Dredd TV show.
I'm looking forward to that already.
Dredd. Yeah. I'm really excited for that. Have you guys seen the Judge Dredd, the film that was out a couple of years ago?
Dredd, yeah.
Yeah,
that was great. I mean, the original was probably the fucking best. I love the original.
Yeah, the Stallone one?
Oh, mate, Stallone. Yeah. There was a couple of other good actors in there. Fuck, man, that was a great movie.
I enjoyed those as well. But I'm down with all of that. I think that's just great. Sign me up for all of it. Yeah. I think Netflix is really doing well. Their original content at the moment is just fucking awesome.
There's some shit in there, but there's
definitely
mostly,
some shit. Yeah. See ya, other podcast.
Yes.
Get real, Rob.
Yeah. Okay, this one's kind of interesting. The Dragon Ball movie, the guy that wrote it, there was a Dragon Ball movie I think it was about 7 or 8 years ago. Dragon Ball, obviously, huge series, loved by millions of people the world round. He's apologized for the script that he wrote and how terrible the film was. I just want to read you a little bit of it, this apology. This isn't word for word, but it's basically along the lines of, Dragon Ball Evolution marks a very painful creative point in my life. To have something with my name on it, as the writer be so globally reviled, is gut-wrenching. I went into the project chasing after a big payday, not as a fan of the franchise, but as a businessman taking on an assignment. I've learned that when you go into a creative endeavor with passion, you come out with suboptimal results. As a fanboy of other series, I know what it's like to have something you love and anticipate it be so disappointing. So he's spent a long time saying, no, it wasn't me, it was this guy, it was that guy, it was the direction, it was the cast and all this, and he's just said, look, I'm just going to own it. I'm sorry. And I respect that, because that film was terrible, and I'm not a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z, but, I think it's good that he actually took ownership and said, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So my question is, if you could get a director, creator, actor, anyone to apologize for something they have done, what would it be?
Keanu in The Lake House.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Apologize.
Apologize.
You know that I love that movie.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I think that was a direct, like,
Slice.
shots fired.
There's probably heaps, but that was a really good question.
Yeah, there's a lot. I probably should have, like, prepped you guys for this earlier, giving you guys some
I'll
time
just
to
never
think about
forget
it.
that sneeze. I just think of that sneeze and I think
there's
you need to
sneeze.
say sorry.
I think it's about 30 minutes into the movie, 25 minutes into the movie. Keanu first goes into the lake house. It's nighttime. He's got a cold. It's probably actually 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
And he just does this sneeze, and it just looks so bad. Obviously, I can't communicate the facials well.
I think you
through
guys
the
have told me
podcast,
about
but-
this before.
Oh, that sneeze.
This rings a bell.
It's unforgettable.
It's pretty good. I honestly can't think of what mine would be. Like, there's so many, but probably...
I mean, maybe Wachowski's for the later Matrix. They're good movies, but, like, they could have been better.
Yeah, especially with that first film.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Don't we feel like M. Night Shyamalan has a lot of apologising to do?
God. Yeah. But
He should just apologise for fucking continuing to work after Signs.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. His apology would have, like, a big twist at the end. Like, the twist would be, I'm not really sorry, and fuck you guys.
Oh,
like,
dude, that's such a good call. I'd just like to apologise for all of my works after Signs.
Psych!
Lady in the water. Yeah.
and it somehow managed to make a cameo inside of his own apology.
Yeah.
If I could ask for an apology, I've never even seen this film, and I know I don't need to, but the sequel to Donnie Darko, anyone that was involved with that, the actors, the director, the person that greenlit it, anyone, apology from any of them, just bring them.
Compensation is required.
Yeah, that's it.
So that wraps up the news. So let's start talking about this movie, the Jungle Book, the Jungle Book. Sorry.
So, The Jungle Book, directed by Jon Favreau. Basically, it's about Mowgli, a little man cub, who is threatened by Shere Khan, who's this sort of all-powerful tiger, to GTFO the jungle and go back to man world. And so he leaves his wolf family and goes on this sort of big journey of self-discovery and, like, the coming of age.
Yeah.
To find his people, and he meets Baloo, the really chilled out bear.
Played by Bill Murray.
Yes.
Yep.
And he's sort of guided by Bagheera, the Black Panther, voiced by Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
So just overall, this movie follows basically the same storyline as the Lion King.
Yeah, and with one very, very similar scene as well.
That one scene where the wolf, I mean, spoiler alert, about 35 minutes in, if you haven't seen it, why are you listening to this? The wolf, the alpha wolf dies. Gets
thrown off a cliff.
Pretty
same
rough.
way
Same way that Scar dies. Scar kills Uncle.
I'd like to think Jon Favreau would have done that as a homage more so than a just
direct
ripping off. Yeah, because when I was watching it, we're like, holy shit, this is just, shot for shot. Like, especially there was a scene where they're running away, and there's the stampede comes through, and it's like very, very similar to the Lion King. Like, almost looks identical, but
and then kind of the bear. Baloo,
yeah,
and all the little animals, they're kind of like Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, true.
Little bit. I mean, it followed very closely to the original cartoon. I remember not being a huge fan of it when I was a kid, but as I was watching this, like, little flashbacks of the cartoon sort of came back. But
yeah,
I couldn't remember the nitty gritty of it. But I think overall it's reasonably similar. But I personally liked this film. I didn't love it, but I thought it was decent. Yeah. I thought it was a very interesting choice to have the animals look perfectly lifelike, but still talk in English. It's a strange thing to do.
Yeah.
Making it maybe a little bit more cartoonish would have maybe changed the tone of the film entirely. The weird choice, and it took me a little bit for my brain to sort of go, okay, this is what this film's going to be, and just accept it.
Me too. It takes a while to adjust to that and be okay with it.
I thought the casting was great. I thought Idris Elba, after hearing him do the bad guy, I want to see him do more bad guys, because he just had that deep booming voice, and he's just kind of terrifying, which I really liked.
Yeah.
And Bill Murray is Bill Murray. Enough said. I don't think we really need
He's
to talk
so
about
lovable.
That, he is.
Lots of cast members. That was one of the funnest things for me, is trying to pick out the voices.
Same. Yeah.
And then, of course, Scarlett Johansson comes in, and she literally scene's literally 3 minutes, and she's got a second credit.
Yeah. And, I mean, I think Jon Favreau and her, I don't know, are they related? Or are they like, having sex? Are they married? Because they've been, every single film that they've... He did all the first couple of Iron Man films, which she was, of course, in. Yep. That Chef film she was in. And I looked through, and pretty much every film he's directed, she's had something to do with.
Maybe he just likes her.
Yeah. I mean, how could you not? You know?
She's in that, isn't she?
Yeah, she's Black Widow.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Okay, yeah.
What were you thinking of? Avengers or something?
Yeah. No, I was thinking someone else,
Okay. But... She, like, the second she was on screen, she kind of made a snake sexy. Like, I don't think that was possible, but that I kind of like that scene, especially because it sort of shows that sort of flashback. She's kind of explaining how we came to be in the jungle.
That was really cool animation as well in her eye. And
and then phallic symbolism.
Which bit?
Is that what you enjoyed about the snake?
Maybe I didn't realize it at the time, but I'm guessing
snake was actually male in the original.
The snake was?
Yeah, a bit of trivia.
Really?
Jon Favreau decided to try and balance because there's so many male characters.
Male cast, yeah.
It's like, I want at least one.
Yeah, when was the book written? Like 1800s or something?
Yeah, very old.
No idea.
Yeah. But I liked it when she's finished telling a little story and...
She's completely wrapped around him.
And she's completely wrapped around him. I found that really sort of creepy. But
yeah.
The original is basically a musical. The cartoons are basically a musical, and I think it was a mistake putting the music tracks in this.
I totally agree.
They totally missed the point.
I think it spoilt the tone. Like it was more leaning towards drama, like that weird drama fantasy mix.
Yeah.
And then putting the songs in, it just pulled me completely out of it.
Yeah.
And like
totally.
It was too lighthearted and
didn't know what the movie wanted to be in that respect.
It was confusing. It really lost me.
Do you want to be fun family movie that has songs in it?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be like a dark kind of, adolescent teen film that people, the teenagers are going to want to watch again?
And I feel it succeeded at doing that. Like the tone was, I felt consistent except for the music. I felt it was... Yeah,
I mean,
it just missed the...
Baloo floating down the river was okay.
Yeah.
I believe that enough, but then the monkey, Christopher Walken singing, I was just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. And Christopher Walken generally can do no wrong, but... but yeah, I mean, visually, I thought it was...
Amazing?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I didn't realise this when watching it. I mean, obviously, it's heavily animated, but... This was shot on a soundstage. Like, this was not in the jungle. Pretty much everything you see is digital. It was shot in LA. There's no jungle at all. None of the animals are real. Obviously, they did a lot of research and all that kind of stuff on the way animals move and all that kind of stuff. But this was entirely digital. The only real thing was a couple of humans that were shown, and of course, Mowgli, played by a human child.
Neil Sethi.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Did you think he was good?
I thought his name was Human Child.
Human Child,
cub.
number one.
No, they did use a few Jim Henson animal heads.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to give him something to like create the realistic eye line.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I looked at a few behind the scenes photos. It's
Were
amazing.
They like sock puppets with like little those
Just
googly eyes on it? Like
no, just like like a head, like a wolf head.
Gotcha.
Or like a bear head.
I love when you see, famous scenes from movies where someone's like, there's one really good one from one of the Jurassic Park films where, no, there's a giant dinosaur coming at me, and they show like what was really there, and it's just some
like
extra with a stick
and a mop head.
Yeah,
that makes me appreciate the skill of that child actor a lot more.
Yeah,
he was so like relaxed and natural in so much of it, and then thinking like the bit with him floating down the river on the bear's tummy that was shot like outside in a pool with all these cameras and like so he had to act so much. He had to like make you believe that he's in the jungle relaxed having fun, and he's
so
just
young.
I'd
struggle to do that. I mean, I'm not an actor in any way, shape or form, but like I'd struggle to just like suspend the disbelief and just pretend that I'm there, let alone all the acting and everything that goes on top of that. It would be so tough. And for someone that young to do it, like there was a few moments where I'm like, like you can sort of see that he's he's young. He's a kid.
Yeah.
But generally, I thought his performance was quite solid.
I reckon.
He was really good.
Yeah, that song was probably the best one. The Christopher Walken one was shitty.
Yeah.
That Unbearable or whatever.
Because it made sense for the bear to sing with him because the kid's like, well, what's music? I've never heard of this. What's a song?
Yeah.
And then for him to show him like a song while they're chilling out, that's kind of sweet. But then for that monkey to be threatening and then to sing, the two they're incongruous. Like, I'm not going to be scared of a monkey singing at me.
How fucking glorious was the animation of that Christopher Walken orangutan though? Like, just so
phenomenal.
Fat. What was the name?
So
King
big.
something?
Yeah.
So
the
big.
scale of it was pretty amazing.
And when he's like trying to, they're running out of the giant temple and it's crumbling around him, and he's just mammoth, absolutely mammoth. Yeah, I thought that scene was kind of good. I mean, just talking spoilers for, I guess we'll sort of wrap it up a little bit. But what did you guys think of the ending?
What happened at the end again?
I think that's a really good point. The fact that I had to really think to remember what happened at the end.
I remember is that he brings fire into the jungle. He's the one who sets it on fire, and then everyone's terrified of him, and he's like, "Oh shit!" Then he manages to win them back and kill the tiger.
Yeah. And I did kind of like the idea at the very end of the elephants being these kind of like mystical creatures that cleanse the jungle and all this kind of stuff, and they reshape the rivers. That was kind of cool. I liked that.
That was nice.
But overall, I mean, the end I think kind of set it up for a sequel, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if there was going to be some kind of sequel. Was there a sequel to the Disney cartoons?
Yes, I'm sure there was a Jungle Book 2.
You'd expect there to be.
I didn't see it, though. Or at least I don't remember it. I probably saw it, but
it
wasn't that memorable.
I mean, it's a very long time ago these days. I think Disney in their sequels usually direct to DVD. Not very good, but yeah.
I don't think I ever saw the original Jungle Book, so this was
really?
new to me. Yeah.
I think from what I remember, I'm sure I liked it as a kid. I mean, I remember when Baloo started singing, I remembered all the words, just from instinct, like this... Something awoke in my brain.
Was it the same song?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
It was a little bit different tone, but the general sort of tone of it was...
Yeah. I knew both of those songs, but I'd never seen the movie.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah, I didn't know either of them.
Oh. On the topic of, suspending disbelief and everything, I found it so hard to just come to grips with the fact that the mother wolf was that attached to him. I just found their relationship really weird. She's like, "You'll always be my boy." Like,
yeah. What about her actual kids?
Yeah. Like, got a whole host of real kids.
She did seem closer to her actual to Mowgli than she was to her actual cubs. Which, I agree. That's a little bit strange.
I just couldn't connect with that.
Yeah,
it's just too weird.
Yeah,
like you'd have more of a friendship than anything.
You're my good friend. Man cub. The stakes just aren't as high.
Yeah. Like
it's like, you're a mate, but I'm not going to fucking chase after you.
I don't really care about you.
Like, we'll catch up or whatever.
Yeah, no, go over here,
send
mate.
me a text.
Yeah, come by the pond. We'll have a brewski.
Oh God,
why are they Aussies?
Yeah,
it's funnier.
Yeah, because we can't do anything else. Let's face it. Like, I can't do an American accent.
How many bits of honeycomb out of 10 would you give this? We'll start with Girl.
I enjoyed it. It was sweet. I think it had a really nice circular plot. Like, it starts with him not being able to keep up with the little cubs, and then it finishes with him beating them.
Yeah.
So it's like shows that character growth, which is nice. It just lost me with the music, but I think it was beautiful. It was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, visually really good.
Yeah, so I reckon I'll give it 6.5 out of 10.
6.5, still pretty low. I'm probably around about the same area though. Like visually very nice. I mean, the plot's just a classic. You kind of, you know what's happening. The voices were fucking cool.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
I agree with a lot of what you said, both of you. I mean, the music really didn't hit for me. I think the performances and the voice acting was phenomenal, and visually it was spectacular. Yeah. I think I enjoyed it a bit more than you guys. I'd probably go about a 7.5.
Okay.
Something around there. Not amazing, but Disney are actually doing a bunch of these. Like, they're sort of doing the real-world remakes of a lot of classic old films. Is there any old Disney films, like, from your childhood that you'd like to see redone like this? I think they're doing Beauty and the Beast next.
Ah.
Treasure Island. Give us another Treasure Island.
Yeah.
Oh, that Robinson Crusoe.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, and I mean, The Goonies. I don't think it needs to be remade, but it would be cool if they did it well. Like, it would be awesome.
I hope they don't. I just want to leave some classics as classics. I want kids to see the originals. Yeah. Not to rely on the celebrity.
It's up to their parents.
Power and
it's up to their parents to show them the good ones versus the shitty ones.
We just need a bit more originality. Like, they're investing so much money to remake things that have already been done and done pretty well. It's a bit frustrating.
I saw the Cinderella remake. Cinderella? Was it Cinderella? Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty? Cinderella? I don't know. No, it was Cinderella with the glass slipper. I saw that one with the missus, and she loved it, absolutely loved it, because she's a big fan of the cartoons. I just couldn't. No, I mean, it's not really.
Was that the Once Upon a Time film? Or is there a specific Cinderella one?
It's specifically Cinderella. Yeah.
I think Once Upon a Time's a TV show.
Yeah.
I thought that was a movie. No, Into the Woods. My bad.
And there's all this huntsman crap that's going on. I think he's going to be the through line for a lot of these. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Big flop huntsman. It's making a loss apparently.
What about a Snow White remake?
Millions of dollars. To make. Big
really?
Flop. Yeah.
It looks terrible.
It's
it just does not look good.
Chris Hemsworth. I don't know how he. I don't want to offend you, Chris, if you're listening to this, but I'm confused as to how he's in so many big budget films.
He's good looking, that's why.
Yeah, but wasn't he in that Hansel and Gretel?
I think that was Jeremy Renner. Well, he was in that Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunter film, if that's what you're thinking of.
Let me look it up here. Hang on.
He has done a few actually good, legit good films where he's been good in. Like Black Hat wasn't a great film, but he was good in it. There's been a few. He has these moments.
Okay, so we've got, obviously, the Thor series. He's done a bunch of Thor films.
And another one coming up soon.
Okay, so Thor, just real quick. Do you like it or do you not? Thor.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean...
You love it.
I think he's a perfect Thor. Like, he is perfect as Thor, but
right.
I definitely don't think that's, the best he's done.
Maybe that's where I'm already away from the...
Have you seen Rush? That was a really good film.
That's where I'm already fucking moving away from the herd, because I just don't like fucking that movie. I don't buy into the superhero. I guess Avengers though is kind of like that. The Marvel universe is a little bit divisive in that respect because they're popcorn films.
Yeah, 100%.
They're not made to be cool. So yeah, he was in Snow White and the Huntsman 2012. Which I don't know if that was successful or not, but it doesn't seem like it was that successful to make a prequel. He started on Neighbours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just looking through, he was in Cabin in the Woods, which I love that film. I mean, he wasn't spectacular, and he was in Star Wars.
He was in Home and Away, actually, because he was in Neighbours for one episode. Home and Away was 189 episodes.
Oh, wow.
He played a guy called Kim. And before that, he was actually in The Saddle Club.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Stepped up from there, went straight into Star Trek.
Pretty much every big Aussie that goes overseas and succeeds started off in Neighbours or Home and Away. It's such a big thing. I listened to the Empire podcast, and they were interviewing not Chris Hemsworth. No, it was Chris Hemsworth. And they were talking about his big start in Neighbours, and I'm like, do you even know what Neighbours is? And I'm like, of course, it's huge over there, just massive. But yeah, he's done a few things.
Speaking of though, man, I mean, you went and saw the Civil War film. I didn't actually bother to go and see it because, I mean, while I enjoy the films while I'm there a little bit, they're not great, and I just don't want to waste my time.
They're not your thing. I've come to accept that. Initially, I took it as my mission to try and convert you guys, and I've just come to terms with the fact that we share a different religion, basically. It's like me as a Christian, not actually Christian, trying to convince you that your weird cult thing that you're a part of is not right.
Yeah, Heaven's Gate is the way to God. So, what did you actually think of Civil War?
Oh, God, it was so good. Honestly.
Really?
No word of a lie. I feel that these films are going to burn people out, and I feel that we're right on the cusp of at least the possibility of people saying, "No, I fucking had it with all these stupid superhero films." This film will reinvigorate people. I truly believe that. They basically did what Batman vs Superman was trying to do. They tackled a lot of the same things and themes that Batman vs Superman was trying to do, and they did it just so much better. The story was better. It was more rich and interesting. It introduced a bunch of new cast members, but actually gave them room to breathe. Where in Batman vs Superman, it's like, here's a quick 30-second trailer of The Flash, of, all these characters that we're going to introduce, which is just ridiculous. They actually had like a couple of characters were introduced in this, and they gave them their own screen time. They gave them a backstory and a reason that we actually give a shit about them. So when it all comes together, we actually have some empathy for these characters.
Like they've successfully planted the seeds as opposed to running a trailer inside a movie.
Exactly.
You're successfully planting the seed to go watch this movie.
It's honestly...
What do you mean? Like within us?
Yeah, like I'm kind of wanting to see it now. We're giving you a rave review.
Okay, let me say this. I know that you enjoyed Ant-Man at least, more than a lot of the other films. He in this steals the show. Like he shows up, and see, this is one thing they do great.
Ant-Man is in this movie?
Yeah, Ant-Man, Spider-Man. Like there's a bunch of new characters. Spider-Man and Ant-Man in this are my favorite part, and this is in a film that has Iron Man. It has Black Widow, all of these characters that were sort of sitting around the fringe, I enjoyed so much more. And there's one big fight scene where it's literally, I think it's 6-on-6, and it's like all of the heavy hitters, all of the people that we've been watching for, 8-9 years now, facing off against each other. And this is including, Spider-Man and all of the extra characters that are in this universe. And all of them had a moment where I'm like, that was cool. They had a little bit of screen time. They had a moment where they gave him room to breathe, basically. And it was just so much fun, honestly. They had a really good mix of fun, levity, and also quite a serious plot that sort of ties it all together. It was just great. I really think I believe it's the best Marvel film so far.
Fuck you.
That's
awesome.
Big claim.
Hands down, yeah.
I haven't even seen the trailer.
Oh, no shit. The trailer's actually really good too. Like the Spider-Man reveal, just fucking great. Like, yeah. This Spider-Man, last thing I'm going to say on it, this Spider-Man is the Spider-Man that we always should have had. Yeah. He's perfect.
So they finally got there.
Yeah. Are they going to do a backstory movie on him?
They are. They're going to do... Well, the backstory... One thing I liked about this, that the backstory was explained... We all know the fucking backstory. He's bitten by a radioactive spider. We don't need to see it again. And that was one of my big problems with the Batman vs Superman. No one needs to know how fucking Batman came to be. We all know it already.
It's common knowledge.
They basically just had a little moment where Tony Stark approaches him and says, "Why do you do this?" Or "How did you become who you are?" And he's like, "It's a long story." That was it. That's all we needed, And they did delve into it a little bit, but they gave him 5-minute little interaction with Tony Stark, which was great, and that was all we needed. We all know where he came from, But yeah, this Spider-Man is perfect. He's the right age, the right amount of cocky but nerdy, and he's just I can't wait. But Homecoming is not going to be a origin story. It's going to be just another film with him in it, because they sort of gave the impression that he was quite new in this.
Uncle Ben again.
All of that, yeah. Uncle Ben's already gone.
He's died like 6 times in the last 10 years. He just keeps dying.
And Marissa Tomei, who is gorgeous, is playing the aunt, and Tony Stark just keeps trying to pick her up the whole way through the film, but which was kind of funny. But yeah, she's just gorgeous, way too young to play like the
I think she's in that awkward age bracket now where she can't be the young love interest, but she can't be the mature strong, powerful woman.
Yeah. She's great. I can't believe she's got an Oscar though. My brain can't make that right. But
remember that Amy Schumer skit with
I love that so much.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Tina Fey in that as well.
Yeah, Tina Fey. That was so good. They just send her off into the water, like they're giving him a Viking funeral. It was great. But quick rating, I would legitimately say in a year that we had a really, really good new Star Wars film, this would possibly still be my favourite film of the year so far. It was just, I had so much fun. So much fun.
Wow. Big call.
Yeah, I loved
That's
it.
Impressive,
really, really, really good. I would give it a legit probably like a 9.1 out of 10. Yep. You guys want to wrap it up?
You want to wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. This has been Haircut and the Beard. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. I'd like to thank our very special guest, the girl, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. And, of course, my co-host, Rob, the Beard, Danger Man 2 Brown.
Danger Man.
Thank you for having me. I'm going to go nurse my hangover.
Beautiful. Vader, a.k.a. Haircut here, signing off. Haircut and the Beard.
Check us out on Twitter at...